Today we got a Legend of the Five Rings RPG character creation guide. Now there's going to be a couple of these, a couple different ones. Today we are focusing on one question of a 20-question life path questionnaire, which is the character creation process. 20 questions which decide your stats, and we're focusing on question 3. Question 3 is probably the single most important one. What is your samurai school? Because question number 1, what samurai clan are you from? And you got some stats. Then your family, and you got some stats. Your samurai school. That is basically your character class and has the single greatest impact on your character's playstyle. So today, we are going to spend the entire time focusing on the anatomy of a samurai school, of the character class options, what the different parts mean, what to look for, how to sort of analyze it, get a sense of how it plays, or how it should play, how it could play, how you could build it. All that stuff. Should be a decent intro to the character creation and game in general, but also, if I haven't gotten to your individual school video, because there's like 60 or 70 of these, it's going to take a while before I get to your specific one. At the very least, I can give you the tools to sort of read a school on your own and get a sense if it's the right one for you. So first of all, Samurai School is, from a lore perspective, sometimes it's a dojo, sometimes it's more of just a general set of teachings, and it is ran by a particular samurai family within that clan. So the Hida Defender School, which at the very top of every school, that's what you'll see, a strange word you've never seen before, followed by words that are familiar, and then another word that's probably not familiar in parentheses. Let's go over those parts. The first one, in this case, Hida, that's the family that runs that particular school. Now, you don't have to pick a school that is the same family as you. Like, if you're a Hida, you're Hida Steve. I don't have to go to the Hida Defender School. I could maybe go to the Caillou Engineer School. In fact, that could even be a story thing. My character is not big and tough and strong like most Hida are, but he's got a really sharp mind, so he was sent to the Caillou Engineer School, or the Yasuki Merchant School, or he had a flair for magic, so he went to the Kuni Purifier School, or whatever else. It could even be something as simple as, but Dad, I don't want to be an Akota Commander like you. I want to be an Akoma Bard. I have no son! So your school doesn't have to be the one that your family ran. You're not that limited. It almost always is part of your clan, though technically you could go to a school of a different clan. Your GM will let you know if that's even an option. But typically you pick a school from your clan. Now let's move on over to the parentheses part of this title. These keywords give you a general idea, or supposed to. Sometimes they're a little misleading, I find. But they're supposed to give you a general idea of what type of school that it is, what type of samurai it is, and sometimes there are different combinations, sometimes they're hybrids, and most of the time there are weird words that I have to translate for you. So Bushi Type, these type are warriors. They focus mostly on just martial skill and tactics, swords and bows and arrows and spears and commands and all that stuff. And there's a wide variety. Some might focus on a particular weapon like spear or using 2 swords at once. Some might focus more on maybe leadership or duels. Mass combat and duels are different types of combat with their own special kind of rules, which differ from skirmishes, which are the more traditional RPG combat. So you can have a variety of Bushi on a team, kind of fulfilling different like sub-roles, not just, I'm a damage dealer. Hey, me too, but farther. One might be better at single combat and be the duelist of the party. Anyway, we also have Artisan. Now, Artisan, they're more like academic, knowledge kind of focused, and typically this is 2 broad disciplines. Either you're creating, crafting stuff, like a artist or a smith kind of a character. Also, this can deal with like knowledge and history, like the lore master people. Focus mostly on knowledge and just know things. That's how you navigate the world and contribute to the group. People like them, the lore masters, they typically serve as like advisors. Now courtiers, that's a type which focus mostly on talking, and they could be occasionally merchants, though not that often, because being a merchant samurai is kind of looked down upon. I mean, usually they got a guy for that. In fact, one of your players may just be a samurai who, or not even a samurai, like a peasant merchant who just handles the money for the group, which that could be a fun role to play if you don't mind betraying your party a little bit, just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. We'll get more into that in the peasant video. Yes, that is coming. But courtiers are mostly like diplomats, representatives of the clan within the courts and that sort of thing. Now, the Shugenja are magical priests, people born with a special ability to communicate or talk to the kami. They just have a special affinity for it because the kami is what gives magic users power in this game. But more powerful spirits, like a patron, kind of like a warlock sort of thing, right? Except it's not a specific patron, it's more of you just talk to the gods and you know how to talk to them in a special way because you went to Shugenja Academy. And if you ask real nice, then you get to borrow some power from them, and it manifests as a invocation, as they call it, or a spell, sort of a traditional feeling, I cast fireball type of fantasy RPG magic. Now, another keyword we have, a bit less common, monk. Monks are weird. They're hard to talk about in a general sense because there's so many exceptions. Anyway, if it says monk in the keyword, that's really more of a story thing. They are an order of monks, and you also know if that particular monk school is part of that clan, like the Kaito Shrine Keeper or the Tagashi Tattooed Order. You know that they're affiliated specifically with that clan. In fact, the Tagashi monks, they answer directly to the Dragon Clan champion and that sort of thing. And if they're not, like in the Emerald Empire sourcebook, we have the Fortunist monk and the Shinseist monk, they're not directly affiliated with the clan. They're still part of the empire, but their order, or it's really more of a broad category of orders. There's a bunch of smaller orders, but they kind of fit under this umbrella. They're still affiliated with the empire. It's just you're more likely to be the wandering monk who maybe you serve as advisor for this type of samurai lord for a while and then move over here or whatever. All you really know is narratively they're a monk, and if they're part of a clan, then they're part of that clan. That's all you know for sure. Other things that might be up in the air, maybe your order accepts peasants to be part of that monk order. Maybe they don't. I think most of them do. Maybe they view peasants as more closer to people. Like, they kind of see samurai and just people in general as, we're all just people, man. There's no class structure I mean, there kind of is, but should there be? People within a monk order are likely to have those thoughts. That culture is more open to that sort of thing, but maybe not necessarily. And as a monk, you may have access to a special type of monk technique called Kiho, but you also might not. Monks are weird. Shinobi keyword means that they are ninjas or ninja-like. Most clans, at least in the lore, if not necessarily mechanically in the core rulebook, especially the great clans, will have some sort of ninja kind of character, ninja school to do their ninja-ing. Espionage, stealthy, poison, assassinations, all of the dishonorable stuff that none of the clans would actually ever admit to doing, but of course they do it. Obviously, they do it. And if you see the shinobi keyword at the top title of a school, you know at the very least they could kind of make for a decent ninja, do kind of stealthy espionage stuff if they're not outright the clan ninja for that clan. Really, there's not a lot of options for shinobi early on in the core rulebook. You have to go to the extra book, especially Courts of Stone has a couple really good ninja shinobi options. But the big thing with ninjas is that they have access to a special type of technique, which let's transition into the techniques. So if you scroll down a bit, you will see something that says techniques available, and then it will list 3 types of techniques. There's